High snap, play action, Nichols underneath, caught, gets away from one tackler, gets away from two tacklers, down the sidelines, one man to beat, stutter step, getting away to the end zone, number 8, Dylan Talley, touchdown, Bowie.
Robertson in motion, Craven's back to pass, goes across the middle, Ghostin holds it in, he's gonna go to the touchdown, to the house, Cravens to Ghostin, Colt, touchdown!
As a tight end, pulls a guard, Barrett finds the hole, follows the pulling guard, cuts outside, bounces outside to the 20, 10, 15, 5, touchdown, Bowers, touchdown, Bowie!
Out of the stretch. Sky towards left center field. The wind is carrying it. Is it gone? It is! Jackson Irons with a 2-run shot over the left center field fence. He'll plate Wharton, and it's 6-4. There's still an insurance run that is about to get driven in on this base hit. Flores delivers the insurance run. Burkle out of position. They've got to pass, and they've got to go! Patomeco with the pass. Mirario has a bit of a look. Shot on goal, and he gets it in! Two tight end set here as we go to the left-hand side with B.J. Rogers. Rogers is into the second level. B.J. Rogers to midfield. One man trying to catch up to him, but he will not. Number 6 in for 6. That will do it.
This broadcast is under intellectual property and may not be repurposed or reproduced without express written consent. Enjoy this presentation from Zach Arnold Productions. Energetic Media Solutions.
It's a win and in situation for the Bowie Volunteers just north of I-30. Broadcasting live on YouTube, it's another edition of High School Baseball on Zach Arnold Productions presented by John Wade Roofing, Arlington's favorite roofer since 1982. It's a big one, and we've got all the action for you here tonight. We'll be right back with the pregame show presented by Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services, Inc. right after this. John Wade Roofing is celebrating 40 years serving the Arlington area. John Sr. played for Colt football and was the team MVP in '76. He went on to play for TCU, earning all conference honors. The family has a Colt legacy that spans generations and wants to help your family's roofing needs, plus gutters, painting, solar, and more. For more information, go to johnwaderoofing.com.
If you're a small business owner looking for reliable insurance coverage, or perhaps just navigating the complexities of Medicare, look no further. Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services is a family-owned, independent agency with over 50 years of experience, specializing in tailored insurance solutions for small businesses and their owners. Whether you need property, liability, commercial auto, or even life and health insurance, their agents can help you feel secure in selecting the insurance you need. Call April Chapman or Jason Ott today at 817-265-3346.
Welcome back to the campus of Lamar High School, home of the Vikings, who come into this game with an 8-3 district record, fresh off of a 5-1 win at the ballpark at Bowie. And to my left is a voice that you might recognize from the ballpark at Bowie. We're a little short-staffed tonight due to people's availabilities, and his availability just happened to pop up. It's the PA voice of the Bowie Volunteers and a dear friend of mine joining me as the color on what is shaping up to be quite possibly one of the biggest games in Bowie baseball recent history. Yadi Pagan, tell us a little bit more about just what's at stake here tonight.
It's a lot at stake here tonight. Thanks for having me on, Zach. 12 years it's been since the Bowie Volunteers have made the playoffs in baseball. The last time the Vols made the playoffs, it was also the last time that the Vols football program won a district championship. For most of these seniors, they were in first grade or maybe even kindergarten around that time. I remember I was in sixth grade going into seventh, and I just remember hearing, hey, Bowie made the playoffs. I was like, oh, nice. But now here we are 12 years later, searching for that first Bowie playoff berth in 12 years and for the 5th time in school history. Also tonight, the Vols are at a win record of 18. That is tied for the all-time school best. They win tonight, that's a new school record.
So the school record for wins, the first playoff appearance in over a decade, a little bit of bragging rights in the district as well after finishing in 5th place last year. There's definitely a lot on the line for this team here.
A large amount on the line tonight. I mean, you've got the biggest senior class Bowie's had in a long time. You've got the richest talent base that Bowie's had in a long time in terms of Isaiah Henderson and Roberto De Leon and just, our deep outfield and our deep infield. That's what we're relying on right now. We have talent, we have depth, and we have experience, and this is the year to do it.
That's something that we've been talking about on the broadcast all season long, is that there's a lot of leadership on this team, a lot of upperclassmen, Henderson being one of them. There was a Senior Day festivities this past Saturday that honored all of the seniors, and you just kept listing name after name after name during that Senior Day. There's a lot of senior leadership on this team, and a lot of them are going to be starting. A lot of them come in and fill specific roles, like Jaden Kitchens as a courtesy runner. So there's a lot of buy-in. There's a lot of commitment up and down this roster, and hopefully they can find a way to have that pay off for them here tonight.
Yeah, you are right. And, the message from the beginning of the season from my conversations with Coach Johnson right before the season started, win. Playoffs are the expectation, not the goal. And, we felt at Bowie that over the past decade or so, the goal has been a playoff. But this year, it being the expectation, we've been playing better baseball. We've been playing a lot cleaner baseball than we have in the past. And it just, the culture in Bowie baseball has taken a dramatic shift over the past 4 weeks, because now people are starting to, pay attention. They're starting to see, Bowie might make the playoffs in baseball this year. And, it's big. Tonight's a huge game.
And we are thrilled to have the coverage for you. The pregame show is presented by our friends at Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services, Inc. They're a family-owned business with a team of professionals who have served the Arlington area for over 50 years. Don't let insurance be a headache. Chapman Cornelius can help you create a custom insurance plan tailored to your small business's needs and budget. Call April Chapman or Jason Ott today at 817-265-3346, or you can go to www.chapman-cornelius.com. Yadi, one of your other responsibilities, not only as the PA voice, but you're also in charge of kind of recruiting some of the partners that help support the Bowie baseball program, and through referral, we were able to get some mutual partnerships this season. I helped you get in touch with Taqueria Taco Express. You helped me get in touch with Ika Signs, and both of them now have signs in the outfield at the ballpark at Bowie. Both of them are staunch supporters of Arlington ISD, but particularly ZAP and this Bowie program. It's really cool to see all of that flourishing in just our first full season of coverage of Bowie baseball.
It's been incredible. I mean, I remember that there was a lot of speculation last year, and I'll admit that there was some substance in last year being possibly my last year associated with anything in Arlington. And whenever me and Coach Johnson talked at the beginning of the season, he was the first thing he wanted to point out was that we needed sponsors, and he put me on it. And next thing you know, we've got Ika Signs, we got Zach Arnold Productions covering not just baseball, but football for the Volunteers too.
Yep, we do.
Taqueria Taco Express, John Wade Roofing, and
That's
a variety
true.
of others. I mean, it's been a partnership that has paid off dividends, and I know it will continue to pay off dividends for years and years to come.
We appreciate everyone that has financially supported the Bowie program and Zach Arnold Productions, but also just support by tuning in. So we are still going through in and outs. We're still going through preparation for first pitch. But go ahead and copy that link and share it on your social media. Send it to your group chat, because this is a pretty big ball game, and we're going to be here for all the action. Yadi, you were at the ballpark at Bowie. I was covering an Arlington High game that ended up being a 2-0 thriller against the surprisingly gritty Grand Prairie Gophers. There was a pitching duel that was happening over at Grand Prairie, over at Gopher Park, and there was some activity at the ballpark as well. What can you tell us about Tuesday's ball game?
It wasn't a pretty ball game for either teams. I'll put it this way. I was doing a tally after the game, and I was also the scoreboard operator that game, so I was also the official scorer. Overall, over 10 errors by both teams. It was not a very clean baseball night, and Bowie just happened to commit more errors whenever there were runners on base, and that's why Lamar ended up winning 5-1 instead of 3-1. There was a 2-error play with 2 runners on in scoring position, and it was just bad overthrows and errant throws that led 2 runs to score for Lamar. So the key for Bowie tonight, minimize the errors. The key for Lamar tonight, minimize the errors. You play error-free baseball, you're going to win ball games.
That was Lamar's issue the last time we covered them here at Viking Field. It was about 4 or 5 defensive errors that we clocked when we scored them in Arlington's 14-0 finish last Friday evening. That win put the Colts 1 game closer to playoff position. They are the other team that we cover here on Zap. The game on Tuesday against Grand Prairie solidified their position in the postseason. If Bowie wins, they are guaranteed a playoff spot just based on how the rest of the district is playing out. Lamar, as we mentioned, is 8-3 in district play. A win here tonight guarantees them a playoff position if they aren't already guaranteed a playoff spot. The Halton Buffaloes are the only team that's remotely close to Bowie, and they need to win against South Grand Prairie tonight to stay alive in the district. But they fell at home against the Warriors by a score of 10-0. So we know firsthand that South is a tough place to play, and it looks like South Grand Prairie is going to punch their ticket to the postseason as long as they take care of business. It's a very interesting shakeup here in District 8-6A as we come out to the last 3 games of the season.
The Wild Wild West. Even though we're in the heart of DFW, it's the Wild Wild West. No other district in our area has had such massive shakeups and such, playoff positioning drama as much as this district has.
Across the district at 7-6A, it's looking like a fight between the Jesuit Rangers and the Lake Highlands Wildcats for who will be the top seed in that district. Of course, depending on how other things play out, Bowie could put themselves in a higher seed. It's a little bit of an uphill battle unless they can find a way to miraculously sweep South Grand Prairie next week. That is the final district series for the Volunteers. But it's looking like they're going to end up possibly the 3 or the 4 seed, and so they are going to be facing a pretty tough team no matter which one they draw if they can make it to the postseason here tonight.
Yeah, that's what we've been focusing on for the past 2 or 3 weeks. A lot of teams do not want to play Dallas Jesuit in that first round. That is a perennial powerhouse in the great state of Texas. You don't want to play the Jesuit Rangers. You don't want to play the South Lake Carroll Dragons. But at the end of the day, somebody's going to have to play them. Same thing with the Lake Highlands Wildcats. In the past, when I've done PA for Arlington in the playoffs, they've surprised Lake Highlands in the past, and I was genuinely impressed. But in order for any team to make it past the first round, you're going to have to play metal to the wall, or however you want to say it, just staunch defense, and you have to get timely hitting.
We'll see if those teams are able to produce that timely hitting here tonight. Coaches have met with the umpires at home plate, and it is time for starting lineups and for the national anthem here at Viking Field. We'll go through the Bowie lineup and the Lamar defensive arrangement here during the pregame, and then we will remind you of it when it comes time for first pitch. Leading off and playing center field, it's Jackson Turner for the Volunteers. Batting second and playing third base, number 11, Christian Uribe. Batting third and pitching, number 9, Isaiah Henderson. Yadi, it's great to see Henderson back in full form. He sprained his knee in the series against Arlington, which kind of affected team morale a little bit, but he has been able to rally the team since then. They've put together some quality wins, including a sweep of the Halton Buffaloes. So they are trying to ride his energy and his momentum at the bat and on the mound here tonight.
Yeah, there was a sign in the Rangers dugout whenever they first made it to the World Series in 2010, and Michael Young said it perfectly. I trust my teammates and I trust myself. They trust Isaiah, and because they trust Isaiah, they have a little bit more faith in themselves.
I think Isaiah has a little bit of trust in himself as well.
Oh, yeah.
Which pays off really well. Next in the lineup after Isaiah bats third is the designated hitter, Roman Ortega. Batting fifth at first base, number 19, Brody Ferguson. Batting sixth and playing right field, it's Jason Wheeler. Batting 7th and playing catcher, number 12, Roberto De Leon. The shortstop, Andrew Vega, bats 8th, and the left fielder, Alex Rojas, rounds out the order. Not in the lineup is the starting second baseman tonight, number 2, Josue Martinez. Defensively for Lamar with a overall record of 12-14, 8-3 in District 8-6A. It's Burns at first, Davis at second, McKay at third. Ben Shryock is at short, being DH'd for tonight. Bouchel is in left, Archibald is in center, Greco is in right. Brock Jackson gets the start behind the plate and on the mound for the Vikings. Number 12, Luke Lazier. Lazier on the mound for the Vikings. The Vikes are clad in their baby blue uniforms, and it's a blackout for the Vols in their alternate blacks with the blue numbers and orange piping around it. Time for the national anthem. We'll turn the crowd mic up so you can join in. And after we honor America, it's baseball time in Texas. Hit that share button. We'll be right back. Live on YouTube, it's Zach Arnold Productions presented by John Wade Roofing, Arlington's favorite roofer since 1982. Zach Arnold and the great Yadi Pagan teaming up for a district action ball game that we talked during the pregame show, Yadi, is super important for the Vols in more ways than one. It's important for the Vikings for district seeding and positioning. And this is a big one for you and me as well. You were on one broadcast for like an inning and a half on a Saturday when you didn't have anything else to do and you just came and hung out with us during a game between Arlington and Mansfield. This is your full game broadcast debut, is it not?
Oh my, it is. I just realized that. My first full game on Zach Arnold Productions when I'm not on the PA. That's incredible.
They call me the Zach of all trades. I don't know what we're going to have to call you, but you are Mr. Do-It-All for the district, and you're going to do something entirely new and entirely different for this ball game here tonight. We're excited to have you along for this ball game, dude. We're excited for everybody that's in the chat and listening, tuning in, watching live. I know that the Peltier family tunes in religiously. If you are watching tonight's ball game, please subscribe to the channel, and after a brief 10-minute wait, you can join the chat here on YouTube and let us know where you're tuning in from. Luke Lazier taking his warm-up pitches as we face southbound here on the north side of Arlington. Davis Drive with a pretty decent amount of traffic, and then regular Friday traffic on I-30 just a couple of 100 feet beyond the outfield fence. 345 to the left and right corners here at Lamar High School. The wind is blowing from right field to left field, but kind of swirling inward a little bit, coming from the south. We'll see if that plays a factor in the type of contact that the players make at the plate here tonight, Yadi. Weather has always been an interesting thing when we call a game here, and traditionally they're low scoring. Arlington's 14-0 win last week was the exception rather than the rule. Oftentimes we get final scores of 2-0, 1-0, 3-2. Runs could be at a premium here tonight.
I think so too. I mean, just Lamar and Bowie have a similar makeup. They just they do things so similarly here on the north side and on the south side. I mean, when you think about how much Lamar and Bowie share with each other, the culture's rubbed off on one another.
Well, and you and I have had a bit of influence on one another. I'm not going to say that we've rubbed off on one another because that sounds weird. But it tends to happen when you share familiarities as often as we do and as often as these teams do. Jackson Turner digs into the batter's box. A lot of vocalization from the Bowie dugout along the first baseline. Lazier's first pitch is swung on, fouled up. And Brock Jackson charging, and it'll go just out of play for strike one.
Lamar's got one of the deeper backstops in the district, just like Martin's and ours over at Bowie. It might not be the deepest, but it's one of the deeper ones.
It's fairly deep. It gives you a lot of opportunity to make a play on a ball like that. Unfortunately, Jackson just unable to get a piece of it. Went about a foot, maybe a foot and a half beyond the netting. Time gets called before Lazier can complete his windup. It's called by the field umpire.
And Brian Goodman's already arguing with an umpire here on the first base line. That's Lamar's varsity assistant.
They're going to check up the baseline, try to make an appeal. Umpire says no. That is ball number one. 1-1 the count to the leadoff man, Jackson Turner. Christian Uribe and Isaiah Henderson, the other two young men, guaranteed an at-bat here in the top of the first inning. The righty turns and fires, and Jackson Turner squared up on that and fouled it straight back into the netting behind him. Means he had the timing, but he wasn't able to put the barrel on the ball as cleanly as he would like. 1 ball and 2 strikes now as play is signaled. Lazier's curveball is too high for ball number 2. Another pitch that can't quite find the zone. Turner has worked the count full, 3-2 with a payoff pitch on the way to lead off the ball game. The Wheeler family tuning in from Cody, Wyoming, and then going fishing right after. That sounds like a great night. Payoff pitch, and the at-bat stays alive on the foul, straight back.
That's pitch number 7 of the at-bat so far. When you get to 8, you consider that a good at-bat.
Well, I think it's a good battle already.
Oh, yeah.
And you get Lazier's pitch count up early. Another payoff pitch. This one's lofted to left field. The wind is carrying it, and it is off of the wall. Turner about 3 feet away from sending it over the left field fence, but he will settle for a leadoff double. Sharply hit ball into left field.
There was a little bit of manifesting that before the game, wasn't there, Zach?
Just about. We were doing some audio testing, and I actually talked about a base hit into the outfield. He didn't slide like I was manifesting, but he does get the leadoff double to start the ball game. And now Christian Uribe has a man in scoring position. Slider will come across the zone for strike one looking. Does Uribe opt for small ball here to move him into scoring position? That ball is low. Good communication from the Bowie dugout, telling Turner not to go. But as you were mentioning about this deep backstop, if it gets away from Brock Jackson, that is an extra 90 feet.
Indeed it is.
Lazier finally settles on a pitch. Pitching out of the stretch now. Chopper up the baseline. This will count almost like a sacrifice. Tough play at first, and it'll be in time. Lazier to the first baseman, Burns. It'll count as a 1-3, but it does move Jackson Turner over to third base.
Now bring up Isaiah Henderson, the heart and soul of this team.
and got one of the biggest swings in the district. Hit 2 home runs at Haltom last week. Was nominated as a 6A hitter of the week for this region from Texas High School Baseball. He'll take a look at a called strike here as we reset the count.
The Viking infield has scooted in. I think they're expecting a bunt from Henderson. Third base has stayed in the same spot, but short, second, and first have moved up.
It's going to be sharply hit. Coach Crowdus up the third baseline there was trying to signal fair to try to entice the umpire to call that. He does not, and it's 0-2. Pretty gusty conditions here at Lamar High. As our broadcast tent is turning more into a broadcast sail, we may have to tie that sucker down a little bit more. Check swing, but it's in front of Jackson. Tries to apply the tag, but it is to no avail. And that'll be ball 1 to Henderson. So 1 ball and 2 strikes, 1 out. Is this your water?
That is indeed my water.
I'm glad I didn't sip it.
Water's life, water's energy.
1-2, lofted to left field, and it is hooking. What are they going to call?
Foul.
Foul is the call, and that wind pushed it into foul territory.
Man, that was similar to the one we had against Grand Prairie at the beginning of the season. It was fair up until the pole, then just past the pole, it blew about 20 feet foul. You got people yelling in the stands. Do it again, Isaiah.
Let's see if he can. It's a 1-2 count. 1 out. I forgot to put that on the scoreboard. And that's ball 2.
Lazier's pitching to Isaiah very carefully. He knows that if Isaiah breaks it open already in the first inning, then that momentum is going to swing towards Bowie's way. And, you know, this is a must-win situation for both teams.
The 2-2 is too low, and Henderson has worked the count full now. You got to throw your best pitch so you don't put another man aboard, but you also got to put it in such a place that Henderson doesn't turn on it. We've seen him capable of that during this at-bat already. And he will take ball 4. That's a free pass and puts 2 men aboard for the DH, Roman Ortega.
Ortega's another bat you have to look out for. I've seen him hit it over. Back then it was just a green part of the fence, but this year it's where the Vernon Wells sign is. He's hit it at least 10 feet over that before. So he's got power, and he's got power to the deepest part of the park.
Well, and there's only 1 out, so even if he is able to get it that far out, even if it's an out, it scores a run.
That's what we need right now, runs, because they might be at a premium tonight.
First pitch is belt high, but outside for ball 1. Our vantage point is to the right of the bleachers, and so we're kind of off center compared to what you're seeing on your camera. The camera view is up in the grandstands, but we're not standing next to it. This one's a chopper to third, and they get the rundown and they apply the tag, and Ortega is tagged at first. That is exactly the opposite of what this team wanted to do. McKay applies the tag of Turner, who got too far away. It'll be a 5-3 double play, and that will end the Bowie half of the first inning. We're headed to the bottom of the first here. It's Bowie nothing. Lamar coming up to the plate. It's high school baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing. We'll be right back.
If you're like me and need printed materials to get your brand out there to the community, then you need Eka Signs. Conveniently located in central Arlington, Eka features a wide selection of shirts, hats, banners, yard signs, acrylics, magnets for your car, magnets for your fridge, tumblers, A-frames, and more. Call Eka at 817-617-2229 for more information and tell them Zap sent you.
Taqueria Taco Express is your one-stop shop for all things authentic Mexican in Arlington and Grand Prairie. And this fall, you'll now have 4 stops to choose from. Visit the new location off 20 and Little Road or any of their 3 original locations and try their $10 Taco Tuesday. It includes 5 tacos and an agua fresca. They also feature new birria items plus tortas, gorditas, and more. Find out just how much more by visiting taqueriatacoexpress.com. To the bottom of the first inning we go, an unfortunate double play ending the Bowie threat, but it was good to see people get into scoring position there, Yadi. They just got to finish the job, and we heard Coach Crowder saying that as the team went to the dugout. You got to follow through. You got to finish. And they came 90 feet away from it in the first inning. We'll see what they can do in the ensuing innings.
Yeah, we got a little too jumpy swinging on a pitch that was inside, and we ripped it right to the third baseman, and there's not much you could do in a situation like that. When you're on third, it's hit directly towards third, you don't have enough time to react. You're just left in no man's land right there.
Yeah, McKay, the third baseman for the Vikings, applying the tag, making the throw in time to the first baseman, Burns. And now it's Isaiah Henderson's turn to try to shut down the Lamar offense. Defensively, around the horn behind him at first base, it's Brody Ferguson. At second base, Josue Martinez. At third base, Chris Uribe. Andrew Vega's at short, Alex Rojas is in left, Jackson Turner's in center, Jason Wheeler is in right. Roberto De Leon will be Isaiah Henderson's battery mate behind the plate, sporting a sharp black and orange set of catcher's gear.
That's an incredible look. The Baltimore Orioles look almost.
Leading off for the Vikings, it'll be the second baseman, number 2, Jackson Davis. The right fielder, number 3, Jacob Greco, bats second, as a ball is delivered too high to lead off the bottom of the first. The catcher, Brock Jackson, bats third, as this one is fouled off to the right-hand side. The DH, Colton Quesada, bats in the cleanup spot. Colton McKay will bat fifth. Ransom Burns bats sixth, as a strike is called on the corner. It's 1-2. The left fielder, Connor Bouchel, bats seventh. Center fielder, Logan Archibald, bats eighth. And the pitcher bats for himself. Luke Lazier rounds out the order. This one sharply hit, and it's a base hit. Leadoff single for Jackson Davis. Splits the defense and goes in front of Rojas in left field.
Davis has one of the more consistent swings I've seen in the district. He's also got an incredible stirrup game. I like the fact that the high school players now are starting to bring back stirrups from like back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. That's a classic look.
Stockings and stirrups.
Stockings and stirrups. I know Coach Crowdis is a big fan of the stirrups too.
That'll take us to right fielder Jacob Greco. And he'll take a look at a call, strike number 1. Bowie middle infield playing the potential double play as Jackson Davis takes a lead off of first. Henderson going to have to pitch out of the stretch now with a runner aboard. And he'll check down over to first. Not even a tag applied by Brody Ferguson, as Davis is back in plenty of time. Slider catches the corner, and it's 0-2. Nice placement there by Henderson. Greco looks for clarification on where that pitch was as he comes set for the 0-2 delivery. Off speed, tails away too far for ball 1. That one stays in front of the catcher, De Leon. And that means that Davis has to stay where he is. Foul straight back, and it'll stay a 1-2 count.
I think we knew what Greco was thinking with that swing.
I don't know if he was going to get it with the way this wind is picking up.
Yeah, the wind has increased sharply over the past 5 minutes.
Still coming out of the south, moving north. Must be a swirling wind as Henderson swirls off of the pitcher's plate to take a look at the runner at first.
What's going to more than likely happen tomorrow is that the wind's going to change direction in anticipation of the impending thunderstorms this weekend.
Hopefully we don't get any of that in this area. It's a hit and run, headed for second, backhanding it. The only play will be to first. It's wide. Ferguson keeps his foot on the bag for the 4-3 putout. Those names, Henderson and Ferguson, always get me crossed up. It was bobbled a little bit there by Josue Martinez, and he didn't have the opportunity to toss it to Vega. So it does move the runner, but they do get the surefire out. There's one away now with a man in scoring position for the catcher, Brock Jackson.
Jackson's got an interesting walk-up song. I hadn't heard that song since I think I was in 7th or 8th grade over at Shack. That's a would now be considered a classic.
Classic rock. Like Green Day?
Oh, well, not Green Day. It'd be more like Powder Blue Day.
I saw a post not too long ago as ball 1 is issued here about somebody in like elementary school, junior high, talking to their teacher that was in their 30s. Like, yeah, I'm really into classic rock. I listen to a lot of Weezer and Green Day.
Oh, my.
Big cut there from Jackson. Can't connect. Strike 1.
Bet you he was wheezing on that swing. That looked like a hefty cut.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Quick look at second. Off speeder, up in the air, playable for Chris Uribe, calling everybody off. And he will record out number 2. An F5 unassisted. Did you notice the way that Henderson was shading towards that corner of the infield, though? Uribe was so preoccupied. Technically, nobody was on the third base bag. And Henderson slid over there just in case Jackson Davis decided he wanted to get a little crazy.
That's just high baseball IQ from Uribe and Henderson. They've practiced this time and time again throughout the season and over the past few years. They know to cover third on a situation like that.
So it'll be the DH, Colton Quesada, trying to bring the runner in from scoring position. Quesada was the pitcher of record in Tuesday's ballgame. He'll get to avoid the field here tonight as he takes a look at ball number 1. Henderson will step off of the pitcher's mound. You notice that Davis kind of wears his helmet almost like a new era flat bill?
I have noticed that.
It took me a second to realize what was different about his stance coming off of the plate, and it's because it's hiking up his forehead a little bit.
He's one of the also one of the jumpier players I've seen. He's always moving. He just does not stay still, and you like to see that in a ball player.
It means you're engaged with the game.
Yep.
The 2-0 is now 2-1 as Quesada fouls that behind the press box. 2 balls and a strike, 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the first inning. Earth Stunt tuning in the chat saying, let's go Bowie. Thank you for the support and for tuning in. The 2-1 swung on and missed. 2-2. Runner is going, and nobody caught it. De Leon with a soft toss back to the pitcher, and lack of communication from the middle infield allows Jackson Davis to make it to third.
That's what you have to minimize today, lack of communication and just getting caught sleeping. Lamar's a team that will take care of it, that will take advantage of mistakes.
Does not matter as Henderson gets the backwards K of Quesada, and that will end the inning. First strikeout of the game by either team ends the Lamar threat, and we're through 1 scoreless here at Viking Field. To the second inning we go. It's high school baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing. Page's Pretty Roots is a Texas-based small business where you can discover handcrafted treasures designed to nurture your body and soul. From custom t-shirts that showcase your unique style to nourishing sugar scrubs and moisturizers made with love. Whether you're looking for a fun fashion statement or all-natural self-care, you'll find something special here. Shop now and experience the magic of handmade by scanning the QR code or searching Page's Pretty Roots on Etsy.com.
Hey, this is John Wade Jr., Colt Football 97, class of 98. And the next time you have a roofing issue, be sure and call Arlington's favorite roofer, John Wade Roofing. Look us up on the internet at johnwaderoofing.com.
Both teams got runners as far as third base in that first inning, Yadi. Neither of them were able to bring them home as we head to the second.
Like you said at the beginning of the game, the runs will be at a premium tonight. When you get runners in scoring position, you have to take advantage of them, and you have to take advantage of them at that point because you don't know whenever you could get another chance.
Strike first, strike early. So far, it's just been striking out. It'll be the 5, 6, 7 spots in the Bowie lineup after Roman Ortega grounded into that double play to end the inning. First baseman Brody Ferguson leads things off. The right fielder Jason Wheeler bats in the 6th spot. And the catcher Roberto De Leon in the hole for the Vols here in the top of the second inning. Lazier with a called strike one. A little bit of a delayed motion from this home plate umpire. We have to make sure that it's actually a strike call before we put it on the tally mark here. Ferguson will chop that one right back into his face almost, it looked like.
It hit the ear flap on the inside part of the face. That's why you got a little reaction from crowd going, ooh. But Ferguson's a tough cookie. He played tight end for the Volunteers, so he knows how to take a hit.
And knows how to dish him out.
Yeah, for real, no kidding.
0-2 to him here. Chin high for ball one. Some members of the football team came out to support him the other day, did they not?
Yeah, the entire graduating senior class, just about all of them, and then some of the underclassmen came out.
This is a slow roller to short. Shryock will make the throw. 6-3 put out for out number one.
I'll bring up Jason Wheeler, number 15, the right fielder for the Volunteers.
Stepping up to the plate, number 15, right fielder, Jason Wheeler.
You played backyard baseball growing up, didn't you?
A little bit.
I downloaded the mobile app on my phone not too long ago. They just released it a couple of weeks ago. And one of the number one picks on my backyard baseball team is one Mr. Pete Wheeler. So every time I hear Jason's name, I think of backyard baseball.
He an outfielder too?
He is a little bit of everything because he is the fastest kid on that game. So he's usually my leadoff guy because all he has to do is square up for a bunt, dribble it somewhere between home and pitcher, and he's at first base before anybody recovers it.
Oh, so he's got it like that.
He has that kind of wheels.
So it's not Wheeler, it's Wheelie, like those little Hot Wheels.
Like the ones you put on your shoes?
Yeah. Man, those take me back.
My parents never let me have those. They said it was bad for my posture. Strike two. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out here.
I had a bad habit of running into things when I was a kid, so they didn't let me have those. I still got some anyway.
I never got a skateboard. The 2-2. Hit and fair down that left field line. Wheeler wheeling into second base with a stand-up double. Sharply hit down that left field line. Good piece of hitting by 15.
He was thinking double all the way, and that'll bring up the catcher, Roberto De Leon, to the plate.
Maybe we should keep talking about our childhood. It seems to inspire these young men.
Yeah, I guess we should.
My dad broke his arm riding a skateboard. He doesn't tell that story on the broadcast very often, but he broke his arm skateboarding when he was younger. So I was never allowed to have one. I turn about 14, 15 as De Leon swings and misses here. And my aunt, you always have the cool aunt, the fun aunt, the cool uncle. And she was the fun one and gave me a ripstick. You remember ripsticks?
Oh, those were insane.
And they were probably more dangerous than a skateboard as a strike is issued here. When you think about it, you're wobbling your foot back and forth on a single solitary wheel with another wheel in front of it for balance. Those were probably way more dangerous than a skateboard.
That's an orthopedist nightmare and an insurance dream right there.
Maybe that's why I'm in touch with Chapman Cornelius so much.
Ooh,
Check swing. Did he go around? They can't make the appeal up the baseline because the Field umpire. Well, they'll make an appeal to him anyways, and he says no swing. Ball 1 to Roberto De Leon. Wheeler still taking up second base, being covered there by Davis. Lazier looking for his first strikeout as he faces the 7th batter in the lineup. And he won't get it there. Ball 2 away. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes to De Leon.
Looks like we got our own private security here from Bowie today, standing 10 feet behind us, Daryl Hicks.
Hey, that means nobody's going to mess with us.
There he is chuckling in the background.
Lazier will chase Wheeler back to second base. And comes home. Swing and a miss. And there is the first K of the day for Lazier. And that'll take us to Andrew Vega with 2 away here in the top of the second.
The next batter, number 6, shortstop, Andrew Vega.
Vega playing shortstop here tonight with Henderson on the mound. Henderson usually the traditional shortstop. Vega will play second base often as well. Ball 1 away. Good recovery there by Jackson. Quite the next man up mentality with Josue Martinez getting the start at second as Vega shifts over to short.
That's one thing that's been consistent at Bowie since I got there, just having that next man up mentality, because life happens, injuries happen, other things happen, so what? We still got to play.
We're playing a 2-0 count here as that one was delivered too low to Vega. And Lazier overcompensating, going a little too high now. It's a 3-0 count to Vega. He'll probably be putting the bat on his shoulders here to see if he can draw the free pass.
It's crazy. When you said too low, I thought of Tulowitzki, because Troy Tulowitzki and Vega have similar batting stances.
Strike is going to be called at the knees. Vega thought that he had the free pass and has to step back into the batter's box for the 3-1.
Rojas waiting on deck for the Volunteers.
(3-1) is now 3-2. Count runs full as Lazier finds the outside corner of the strike zone. Full count with 2 outs. We'll see if Rojas can get an at-bat. Lazier shaking his head a couple of times. Has a pitch in mind, finally gets it. Payoff pitch. Swung on and swung through. Alex Rojas will have to wait until the next inning as Lazier records back-to-back Ks to end the Bowie threat with a runner in scoring position. To the bottom of the second we go. It's high school baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing.
Hey Arlington residents, if you're like me and tired of rising insurance rates, then it's time to make the switch to Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services. Since 1984, they've been your trusted local insurance experts, offering competitive quotes for all your needs. Auto, homeowners, umbrella, renters, boats, and even classic cars. Why settle for less when you can get the best? Compare coverages today and see how much you can save by visiting chapman-cornelius.com. Chapman Cornelius, your local insurance partner since 1984.
Taquería Taco Express es la taquería oficial de Zach Arnold Productions. Extraordinaria y auténtica comida mexicana, aquí encontrarás el mejor menú para el paladar más exigente. Puedes visitarlos en una de sus 3 sucursales ubicadas en Arlington y en Green Prairie. No te pierdas de su grandioso especial todos los martes, Taco Tuesday, de 5 tacos y un agua fresca por solo $10. Para encontrarnos o hacer un pedido, visítalos a su página web taqueriatacoexpress.com.
Welcome back to North Arlington on the campus of Lamar High School, just about 30 yards behind us to the north. Cravens Field, place we are very familiar with calling football games for Arlington ISD over there. calling some high school baseball action here tonight. Zach Arnold and Yadi Pagan for the 18-7 Bowie Volunteers. First pitch swinging, ripped into right field for a base hit. Colton McKay leads things off with a single that falls in front of Wheeler. Yadi, I know we're not supposed to play favorites, but do you have a favorite stadium or venue within the district that you like to call games from? I know that we're about to get a brand new one over at Martin's campus, so we're not allowed to declare that one yet. But you've been all around the different facilities calling basketball, football, baseball. Where do you enjoy going the most?
Well, number one, and it's probably going to be the most obvious, the ballpark at Bowie. When I first got there, it needed a lot of improvements on the PA system, and we got to work right away. And Burns hits one too short. Vega steps on second, throws the first. Double play for the Volunteers.
A beautifully turned defensive move as Burns grounds out into the 6-3 double play. And those types of fundamentals clear the bases and create 2 outs. Good play.
Yeah, that's just incredible wherewithal by Vega of stepping on second base. He bobbled it a little bit, recovered it fast enough, steps on second, throws first, and Ferguson had a good enough stretch to get the out, and foul ball. It's number 15.
That's Connor Bushell. The Bushell name very well recognized in the Arlington community. Connor getting the start in left field here tonight. And 2 pitches, 2 fouls. Quickly an 0-2 count. Henderson getting ahead in the count more often than not here in these first couple of innings, Yadi.
Yeah, that's the key to dominating a lineup like this. Get ahead early and don't give them any chances.
Swing and a miss. And that is a very quick but unconventional 1-2-3 inning. Henderson records another K, and you get to hear from some of our sponsors again after just a few short seconds. We're headed to the 3rd inning, and fans, the 3rd inning is presented by our friends at Ika Signs. They're located in the heart of Arlington and offer same-day production on certain rush orders. The next time you need shirts, banners, stickers, printed signs, or other print materials, Ika Signs is the printer to call. 817-617-2229. We'll be back with more high school baseball right after this.
Pools in Texas need servicing all year long. At Rami Pools, LLC, we provide quality pool services such as cleaning, maintenance, and repairs. So call 469-951-0107 for a free estimate and ask for Roberto. Rami Pools, LLC. We're going to make you fall in love with your pool again. Hablamos español.
PDA Advocacy Group would like to remind you that autism is a wide spectrum of neurological differences and it's on the rise, now affecting 1 in 36 Americans and more cases found in males. Those with autism have trouble with social interactions, communication, and can engage in repetitive or self-harming behaviors. While the causes of autism are still being researched, we can begin to learn more by visiting nationalautismassociation.org. To the top of the 3rd, and it is jersey number 3 leading things off for Bowie, the left fielder Alex Rojas. And then we're back to the top of the order in Jackson Turner and Christian Uribe. It's a win and in situation for the Volunteers. If they get this win, then mathematically they are guaranteed a playoff spot just based on how the rest of the district is shaping out. However, if the Volunteers should falter in this ballgame, there is still an opportunity for a postseason appearance depending on how things fare over at South Grand Prairie as they face the Halton Buffaloes. If the Buffaloes lose, then Bowie also makes it to the playoffs that way. But Yadi, I think there's something special about being able to control your own destiny And I don't think they want to be watching the game changer score if they don't have to.
Yeah, control your destiny, control your fate, control your outcome. That's what Johnson's been preaching all season long. As Brian Goodwin, the Lamar varsity assistant, heads over to the mound to talk with Lazier.
Yeah, he quickly threw 2 balls and was getting behind in the count the past couple of innings. And he's doing it to the number 9 hole hitter. As much as we want to see Alex succeed, there's still the fact of the matter that is somebody that you should be getting out on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get behind in the count, you're giving an opportunity for players to find their way aboard, and then who knows what can happen when you make it back to the top of the order.
This is one of the most dangerous Bowie lineups that the Volunteers have seen since the freaking Kenny Perry was the athletic coordinator here.
It's been a hot minute.
Oh yeah.
And it's only Coach Johnson's 2nd year at the helm of the Volunteers. Swing and a chip into the glove for Rojas to bring the count to 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, Coach Johnson and I arrived at Bowie the same year, and watching these freshmen develop into now seniors, I know this past senior night was special for him, but it was also special for me because I remember when I first got here, it was different. It was challenging. I didn't know what to expect. Now, here we are.
Where we are is a full count after the swing and the miss there by Alex Rojas. Count has run full. Lazier getting ready for what is probably his 3rd or 4th payoff pitch of the ball game. And he will get the call and get the backwards K. Catches Rojas looking. Picks up his 3rd strikeout. And we are back to the top of the order in Jackson Turner, the young man who manifested a prediction of mine during the pregame with a hard shot to the left field wall. It's 3:45 to that corner, that alleyway between left and center. He'll take a look at a strike on the corner here. He probably hit it about 340 out of those 345 during that last at-bat.
It's a swing that would have made Vernon Wells proud.
The 0-1 drops in there as Lazier seems to have taken that coach's visit to heart as he is pounding the strike zone these last couple of at-bats. The 0-2, chopper, and it's going to roll past the second baseman. Right fielder Greco tried to recover it in time, but it is a 2-for-2 evening as Turner gets the single to right field.
Turner stayed inside on the baseball, saw all the way through. That's just a good base hit right there.
Burns was shading a little too close to the bag. Davis was not shaded over enough. And Turner finds his way to first base for Christian Uribe.
Would you say that Ransom was burned on his placement?
Probably. And they say he did not get back in time. That is out number 2 as Turner is caught on the pickoff.
So 2 outs for the Volunteers. Uribe up to bat. Lazier still pitching.
Still waiting for his first pitch of the at-bat, as that was the first sequence. The game is streamed on a tape delay, and I looked down at my phone to try to see what had happened there. And it looked like Turner was just a step and a half too far away from first base. His leadoff was just a little bit too far. He tried to dive back, and his dive didn't get him back to home.
Baseball is a game of inches. You got to be prepared for that.
That pitch was a few inches too high in the strike zone. Looked nice and juicy for Uribe, but he could not put the charge in it that he was hoping for. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fastball right by him for strike 2 on that swing.
I think Lazier's starting to throw a little bit harder because now you're starting to hear the snap of the glove a little
You're
bit
hearing
louder.
a little bit more pop, yep. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lazier back to the windup now with the bases clear, and this time Uribe will lay off that high pitch for ball 2. Chris Villacorta tuning in the chat saying, hey, I know that voice.
Which one?
I think he knows both. I would hope he does. And the backwards K will end the inning. Uribe is retired. And 1, 2, 3, 4 of the last 5 batters that Bowie has sent to the plate have been retired on strikes. We're headed to the bottom of the 3rd, still scoreless here at Lamar. High School Baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing. We'll be right back.
A-frames that bring their A game. The next time you need to get your brand out to the community, go with the printers who are in your community, Ika Signs. With everything from wall signs to banners, printed tees to hats, Ika can even do same-day rush orders on select products. Visit ikasigns.com/shop to see their full list. That's ikasigns.com/shop. Ika Signs, a partner of Zach Arnold Productions.
Zach Arnold Productions is proud to service the greater Arlington and DFW area. With experience in broadcasting, podcasting, web series, public address, marketing, and public relations, Zap can help you tackle any modern communications task. Whether you need an announcer for your sporting event or just need help proofing a press release, be sure to call 817-319-2402 to see how you can find energetic media solutions for your task with Zach Arnold Productions. Bottom of the 3rd inning about to get underway here at Lamar. Coming up on 7:45. The wind has significantly decreased again, Yadi, but the clouds and the overcast nature behind us to the north definitely foreboding some inclement weather, and I'm hoping it stays away during this broadcast.
The good thing is the inclement weather's not scheduled to come in until tomorrow night, Saturday morning, so we do have some time. So I have a feeling even though it wasn't Good Friday weekend, we were still probably going to end up moving this game to today.
That's very possible. Although I have noticed that sometimes games don't get moved up quite as often as they get pushed back. So it would have been an interesting choice to see if that game does get moved up. But the point is moot as Logan Archibald digs into the batter's box for the Vikings. Check swing. Ball 1. 8-9-1 in the lineup. Lazier on deck, and then back to the top of the order in Jackson Davis. Ball 2, off speeder, can't quite make it to the plate. Slider catches the knees for strike 1. In play, off of the glove of Henderson into no man's land. He actually slowed it down too much, and nobody was able to get to it. Logan Archibald with a very unconventional single to the infield and finds his way aboard. I think if he had left it alone, Martinez might have been able to make a play on it at second base. But as it stands, Archibald stands at first.
I think that was just more of a save me reaction right there because it was getting fairly close to his ear.
Bunt is squared up for and fouled out of play. Lazier got far too much underneath that one. Sends it into the grandstands. Hopefully it stayed away from our camera that's just stationary and standing there in the grandstands.
It bounced off of the press box, so it's just laying there on the roofing shingles right now.
Oh, okay. Well, better there than on my lens.
Yeah.
0-1 at the plate to Lazier, trying to move Archibald into scoring position. They're going to check over at first. Archibald is back in time.
I don't know if you noticed, but there's just a giant plume of dust every time that a runner slides into first.
Yeah, it's getting in between my teeth.
Yeah.
Another check down, another safe call. We're down that first baseline. For those of you that are tuning in on the video feed here tonight, we're transmitting the signal down to our broadcast setup. So we are probably about in line with the pitcher's mound as the runner goes. De Leon fires. Tag is in time. De Leon catches Logan Archibald stealing, and he is retired for the first out. Strike is called at the plate. It's 0-2 to Luke Lazier.
People keep asking why we keep talking about Jeremiah Taylor and Roberto De Leon. Case in point right there.
Zapp is very fortunate to cover quite possibly two of the best catchers in the district. And catch. Lazier looking for strikeout number 3 and out number 2.
Number 2, Jackson Davis.
Top of the order for Jackson Davis. Got a single to left field to lead off the first inning.
So swing and strike for strike number 1 on a ball that dropped out of the zone so fast.
Just could not connect. Henderson wheeling and dealing. The slider working for him as he gets the called strike 2. Oh and 2, number 9 turns and fires. And he catches him with the curveball. The off-speeder dips underneath the swing of Davis, and he is retired. 4 strikeouts for Henderson. We're through 3 complete, and runs are indeed at a premium. Headed to the 4th, it's scoreless here at Lamar. This is High School Baseball on Zapp, presented by John Wade Roofing. We'll be right back. John Wade Roofing has been serving the Arlington area since 1982, but the Wade legacy runs much deeper in the city of Arlington. A pioneer family that has had roots going back decades, John Wade and Company saw relatives attend the Cooper Street Arlington High campus and has had members play in Colt athletics for decades, and they're looking forward to serving this community for decades to come. Find out more at johnwaderoofing.com. Looking for the most unique gift for your student or athlete? Local Legends Figures has you covered. The custom 6-inch figures are designed with you and your legend in mind. They even immortalize yours truly with a custom, never-before-used model to create a Zach the Voice figure for my 30th birthday. Huge thanks to our friends at Local Legends Figures. See pricing and place orders at locallegendsfigures.com. Back to live action here at Lamar High School. Isaiah Henderson looking to help his own cause after collecting a couple of strikeouts during the previous half inning. He is up to 4, and it seems to be a pitcher's duel here so far tonight, Yadi, as we're scoreless through 3.
Pitcher's duel indeed. Lazier and Henderson, some of the best pitchers in the district in 8-6A. Henderson, the ace and the heart and soul of the Volunteers, leading it off. Looking to get a spark of life in this lineup as both teams are tied at no runs, but they both have 3 hits for the night.
Yeah, those hits have been kind of scattered and sporadic and have not led to anything. Both teams have gotten runners as far as third base, but have not been able to bring them all the way home yet. Lazier's first pitch to Henderson is too low for ball 1.
I think they're trying to avoid pitching to Isaiah because if they were here last year, they remember what happened. Oppo shot nearly hit the scoreboard. It was about 3-4 feet away from it.
Young man's got some power as that pitch is a called strike on the inside corner. Crowding the plate there in the batter's box was Henderson. He scooted away, but the strike was still called. That one is definitely too far inside. No strike call on that one. It's 2-1.
Prom's a couple of weeks away for Bowie, so I think he was just practicing his dancing right there.
2-1. Off speed. No. Ball 3.
I think Isaiah was looking at the umpire and he told him no.
He was waiting for it also. Came close. Hitters count, though, for quite possibly the hottest bat on the roster. And time will get called by the catcher Jackson. The 3-1. He did have the green light. He'll send it up in the air, headed for the right field area. And the catch will be made in foul territory. That is number 10.
Ransom Burns.
Ransom Burns with the foul out in foul territory. The FO3 will retire Henderson for the first out of the inning.
Burns had some ground to cover, and then he had to adjust himself against the bullpen fence along the first base line.
Against the fence and against the wind, it looked like.
Yeah, the wind was moving the ball around. Burns, great job of adjusting. First pitch to Ortega is high and just high, ball 1.
That one was probably also high, but Ortega swings away at it anyways to bring it to 1-1. Chris is in the chat still making a very interesting point, Yadi, that I'll get to after this next pitch here. Ball 2 too low. Says we have a Colt and a Viking that have helped Bowie Sports grow. Gotta love that Arlington pride.
For sure. You know, what's crazy thing is the Lamar Bowie connection goes beyond sports. Like you have one of the offensive coordinators, the quarterback's coach for Bowie, Charles Stewart, a Lamar graduate. Lee Jones, the principal of Bowie, a Lamar graduate.
There you go. 2-1. 3-1 as Ortega takes that one inside.
3-1 to Ortega.
Designated hitter with a hitter's count. And they'll give him the free pass. He kind of held up a little bit just to make sure that didn't catch the corner. Roman Ortega will take first base. And there's a man aboard with 1 out for Brody Ferguson. Ferguson with some solid contact, but it went right to Ben Shryock at shortstop for a ground out. If he can place it a little bit more to the left or a little more center, might put 2 men aboard here. Does put it in play, right to the shortstop. 6, 4, 3, double play. Ferguson sends it right back to the shortstop as he did in his last at-bat, this time with a man aboard. And that will take us to the middle of the 4th inning, which means it's time for the 4th inning stretch. It's presented by our friends at Taqueria Taco Express, featuring a wide, authentic menu that can solve any Mexican food craving. Order online to collect points for free food or get 5 tacos and a large agua fresca on Taco Tuesdays for just $10. Taqueria Taco Express, the 4th inning stretch, partners of Zach Arnold Productions. We'll be right back.
If you're a small business owner looking for reliable insurance coverage or perhaps just navigating the complexities of Medicare, look no further. Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services is a family-owned, independent agency with over 50 years of experience, specializing in tailored insurance solutions for small businesses and their owners. Whether you need property, liability, commercial auto, or even life and health insurance, their agents can help you feel secure in selecting the insurance you need. Call April Chapman or Jason Ott today at 817-265-3346.
Taqueria Taco Express is your one-stop shop for all things authentic Mexican in Arlington and Grand Prairie. And this fall, you'll now have 4 stops to choose from. Visit the new location off 20 and Little Road or any of their 3 original locations and try their $10 Taco Tuesday. It includes 5 tacos and an agua fresca. They also feature new birria items plus tortas, gorditas, and more. Find out just how much more by visiting taqueriatacoexpress.com. Welcome back to Lamar High School. We've got a very active and engaging chat tuning in live. And then, Yadi, you told me during the break that you're getting some private messages as well about your debut broadcast.
Yeah, so Bowie Student Council President Desiree Garcia, the heart and soul of everything that goes on behind the scenes besides. That's a line drive.
That's a base hit by Greco. Rojas is chasing it. Greco will stop at second. Go ahead and talk more about Dez. I don't want to talk about that base hit.
All right, so Garcia texted me, and she goes, "This feels like a podcast. I'm loving it." Thanks, Dez. For those of you that don't know, all the homecoming stuff that happens at Bowie, all the theme nights and pep rallies, that's Miss Malone, Desiree, and the entire James Bowie High School Student Council. And I could not be more happy and more blessed to have the best student council in Tarrant County helping me whenever we plan stuff out. So shout out to Dez.
First pitch is a ball that cannot quite find the zone. Brock Jackson popped up to the third baseman his last time up. Ripped to left field. This could be trouble. Greco is going to be held up as a quick return there by Rojas. Will hold the runner. But Henderson finds himself in a bit of a jam after back-to-back base hits. Double down the left field line by Greco. Single to left field by Brock Jackson. And now the designated hitter, Colton Quesada, will be digging into the batter's box.
You got QB1 at Lamar, Gannon Carey, courtesy running at first base for the Vikes.
Carey's going on the first pitch, and De Leon will hold up and let him take it. Ball one at the plate.
It's a smart move by De Leon because traditionally whenever you have a runner stealing second and there's a runner on third, they usually send the runner at third about halfway through.
Henderson again unable to find the zone. It's a 2-0 count with 2 men in scoring position and nobody out here in the bottom of the fourth. Foul straight back for strike one. With both men unable to advance with stolen bases, Henderson able to return to his traditional windup. We'll see how that helps him. A little bit low, that's ball three. 3 balls and a strike now to Colton Quesada. Check swing, yes he did, the crowd says, and so does the umpire. Count runs full. Payoff pitch, another swing and a miss. And that is out number one. 5th strikeout of the game for Isaiah Henderson. Colton McKay got a single to right field his last at-bat. He's got a couple of outs to work with. And he was going after that one, can't connect. Good off speed, dipping out underneath the swing.
And McKay was swinging out of his shoes on that one. He was trying to get connection anywhere at that point. With runners on second and third in scoring position, runs at a premium, this is where you hit.
Suicide squeeze gets fouled back. Oh my goodness. One of the most exciting and surprising plays of baseball as Greco charging up that third baseline. Coach Kino also very aware of how much runs are at a premium in this ball game, electing to go with the suicide squeeze here.
On that foul ball that went back into the stands is about 5 feet from the camera, and Ortega's dad reached down for it, and he almost lost his bag of seeds with it.
0-2 now. Too high for ball one. Yeah, you can't lose the seeds. Those can be expensive these days.
No kidding.
Question is he a Biggs or a Davids guy?
It looks like a Biggs.
Swing and a miss, out number 2.
It was a Biggs swing, and there's 2 outs now in the inning.
What a battle from Henderson. If he's able to escape this second and third jam with nothing allowed, it's a testament to his pitching and to the Bowie defense.
He has to get through Ransom Burns first. 2 outs and 2 on, both in scoring position.
First pitch called, strike one. Burns grounded into a double play his last time up. And he'll loft this one to left field. And the catch is not going to be made, or it is?
It's made by Rojas.
It is made by Rojas, and wow, Henderson escapes that jam unscathed. I picked up my binoculars and wasn't able to see Rojas make the catch because I had panned too far to the left. But the F7 erases the two Lamar runners, and it stays scoreless here in North Arlington. To the fifth we go. It's high school baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing. We'll be right back.
If you're like me and need printed materials to get your brand out there to the community, then you need Eka Signs. Conveniently located in central Arlington, Eka features a wide selection of shirts, hats, banners, yard signs, acrylics, magnets for your car, magnets for your fridge, tumblers, A-frames, and more. Call Eka at 817-617-2229 for more information and tell them Zap sent you.
Page's Pretty Roots is a Texas-based small business where you can discover handcrafted treasures designed to nurture your body and soul. From custom t-shirts that showcase your unique style to nourishing sugar scrubs and moisturizers made with love. Whether you're looking for a fun fashion statement or all-natural self-care, you'll find something special here. Shop now and experience the magic of handmade by scanning the QR code or searching Page's Pretty Roots on Etsy.com. Fifth inning about to get underway here. Lamar got runners in scoring position at second and third with nobody out. Back-to-back strikeouts and then a flyout as the Bowie defense escapes the jam and keeps it scoreless, Yadi. What an impressive defensive display.
It's not anything that this PA guy would be surprised about, as he's seen it in practice and throughout 4 years. There's been glimpses of greatness here and there, but now it's culminating into the season we've had so far. Isaiah did a great job of getting himself out of the jam as Wheeler's up. First pitch swinging, that's a foul ball. Hits the netting, strike one.
He had a big swing in his last at-bat, one of the 3 Bowie base hits. A double down the left field line, but was not able to come home. Curveball drops in, a 12-6 off-speeder for strike 2.
Counts 0-2 to Jason Wheeler, the right fielder for the Volunteers. Lazier's in the wind. Here comes the pitch. Ball one. Down and away for ball one.
Just a bit low.
Just a bit outside. The late great Bob Euchre.
The 1-2 from Lazier. Fouled out of play. Over the Bowie dugout and bouncing into the Lamar practice field. And we'll keep it at 1-2 here. About 5 miles down the road, Arlington High and Grand Prairie facing off on the Zap Network as this one's put in play. A slow bouncer to second. Tough play, but the scoop and the out is recorded on the 4-3 of Wheeler.
I'll bring up Roberto De Leon, the catcher for the Volunteers, to the plate.
Headed to the bottom of the 4th inning, it looks like Arlington's bats have come alive a bit more than they did in Tuesday's ball game. It was a 2-0 final off of a couple of base hits in the 7th inning. Here tonight against the Gophers, Arlington is up 6-0. 6-0 on the rematch game. Also on the Zap Network. First pitch to De Leon was too high. Next one was too low. It's 2-0 the count. Arlington guaranteed a postseason appearance. We'll be providing play-by-play coverage of the Colts during the postseason. We're hoping after tonight we can solidify scheduling arrangements for the Bowie baseball team as well. As it's 3-0, too low, too high, now too far outside. Lazier not finding the strike zone here. And again, does not find it as it is a free pass to Roberto De Leon.
Not only can he broadcast, he can also rhyme on the broadcast. Zach Arnold, ladies and gentlemen.
I was a poet and I didn't even know it.
And now bring up Paul Kino, who says it might be now Timo.
4 strikeouts, but also 3 walks issued. Lazier battling. We'll see if it's just a conversation or if he's going to grab the ball from number 12.
Kino very emphatic and energetic on the mound tonight. He knows what's at stake.
He is showing faith in number 12. And he's going to let him pitch to Andrew Vega. It'll be Vega and Rojas, barring a double play.
Number 6, Andrew Vega.
Stepping off of the plate there. Check swing, ball 1.
The Vega bloodline runs very deep in Bowie, as his older brother Joseph was a senior my first year at Bowie. All district, I think, second team infielder. Check the first.
That's Ryan Parker running for De Leon, his courtesy runner.
Parker makes it back in safely.
Still 1-0 at the plate here. This one's a chopper. 6, 4, 3. Got him. Another double play turned to end the inning. Vega grounds into the 6-4-3. And the mini jam is eliminated as the tie is preserved. We're going to the bottom of the 5th. It's high school baseball on ZAP, presented by John Wade Roofing.
Las albercas en Texas necesitan servicios durante todo el año. Romy Pools brinda servicios de calidad, incluyendo limpieza, mantenimiento y reparaciones. Llama al número 469-951-0107 para una consulta gratuita y pregunta por Roberto. Romy Pools, haremos que te enamores de tu alberca de nuevo.
John Wade Roofing is celebrating 40 years serving the Arlington area. John Sr. played for Colt football and was the team MVP in '76. He went on to play for TCU, earning all conference honors. The family has a Colt legacy that spans generations and wants to help your family's roofing needs, plus gutters, painting, solar, and more. For more information, go to johnwaderoofing.com.
She makes good cookies.
Welcome to the bottom of the 5th inning. Zach Arnold and Yadi Pagan. We haven't been able to talk about the taco tally from our friends at Taco Express. There have been no runs tallied so far, and we're more than halfway through this ball game.
No taco, no tally. You know, I might hit Taco Express up later tonight. I know it's a drive, but I mean, hey, I'm feeling tacos tonight.
If this game finishes at a decent time, they're open until about 10 o'clock, I believe. Just opened a 5th location in Waxahachie. That taco empire continues to grow. I live over in Fort Worth, and I keep telling them you need to put one in Fort Worth. I hope they'll listen to me. They've got one over at 20 and Little Road, not too far away from the Martin campus. They've got the original one at 20 and Great Southwest in Grand Prairie. There's one on South Matlock. There's another one at Green Oaks and Collins. And then there's the new one in Waxahachie.
You know, oftentimes I hear Bowie students argue about which taqueria they're going to, if they're going to the one on Great Southwest or Collins. So Bowie's been blessed with Taqueria Taco Express, and that's a 2-0 count to the batter.
That's Connor Bouchel leading things off. He struck out his last time up. It's the 7, 8, 9 spots in the Bowie lineup. Not the Bowie lineup, the Lamar lineup. Strike is issued belt high.
This is like the 5th or 6th Buechele I've met since I've been in high school.
This Buechele puts it into right field, and that's a base hit to the corner. We're going to have to watch as Wheeler grabs it, makes the throw. Josue Martinez will get it back in, but it'll be a leadoff double to right field for Connor Buechele.
Now batting Logan Archibald.
Logan Archibald got an excuse me infield single during his last at-bat. We'll see if Coach Kino elects to play small ball here. He tried the suicide squeeze in the last inning. It is indeed the small ball. De Leon fires to first, and they get the sac bunt that moves Buechele into scoring position. It's a 2-3 sac BU for Archibald.
I hope I score. Oh boy. Oh boy. The next Viking to the plate, Luke.
So it'll be the pitcher, Luke Lazier, trying to help his own cause. With a runner at third and one out. First pitch is a called strike one to Lazier. Pitcher versus pitcher here in the 9 spot. Swing and a miss. Runner's coming home, and they're going to tag him out. I don't know if that was supposed to be a suicide squeeze, but just like that, Buechele's eliminated.
I think it was supposed to be a suicide squeeze because now Kino is just looking in disbelief along the third base line. I think he signaled for a suicide squeeze, and Buechele just didn't lay down the bunt.
Lazier didn't?
I mean Lazier, and then Buechele was rung up and left out to dry.
He tried to dodge the tag, but De Leon gets him. Lazier will put this into right field. Wheeler is underneath it, and he'll make the grab. And again, Lamar was threatening with a man at third and only one out. And Bowie escapes it again. Still scoreless as we head to the 6th. This could be a 1-0 ball game at this rate. We'll see who strikes first and maybe strikes only when we come back with high school baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing.
Hey Arlington residents, if you're like me and tired of rising insurance rates, then it's time to make the switch to Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services. Since 1984, they've been your trusted local insurance experts, offering competitive quotes for all your needs. Auto, homeowners, umbrella, renters, boats, and even classic cars. Why settle for less when you can get the best? Compare coverages today and see how much you can save by visiting chapman-cornelius.com. Chapman Cornelius, your local insurance partner since 1984.
Taquería Taco Express es la taquería oficial de Zach Arnold Productions. Extraordinaria y auténtica comida mexicana. Aquí encontrarás el mejor menú para el paladar más exigente. Puedes visitarlos en una de sus 3 sucursales ubicadas en Arlington y en Green Prairie. No te pierdas de su grandioso especial todos los martes, Taco Tuesday, de 5 tacos y un agua fresca por solo $10. Para encontrarnos o hacer un pedido, visítalos a su página web taqueriatacoexpress.com.
A win and in situation for the Volunteers, and their defense is playing like it after giving up several fielding errors in the game on Tuesday. It's been very clean defensively here, Yadi, and it's helping them keep the game what it is. Now the bats just need to wake up enough to plate 1 run. At this rate, that may be all they need.
You are right, Zach. That might be all they need because no team has committed a single error tonight. I'm looking at the scoreboard here at Lamar. 3 hits for Bowie, 6 hits for Lamar, no errors for either team. And the Volunteer dugout has come to life this inning alongside Alex Johnson and the rest of the Bowie coaching staff. They know what's at stake here. Rojas is on to lead off. First pitch. It's a base hit up the right field line. That'll be the first hit of the night for Rojas, I believe. And the 4th hit of the night for the Volunteers. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Jackson Turner, the leadoff man.
That's some great productivity out of the 9 spot in your lineup. Sending it past first base into right field. Greco able to recover it, but not before the 9 spot hitter Rojas finds his way aboard. He's also got some speed. We'll see if he tries a steal as that off-speed pitch is too high.
This is where you really find out what type of baseball player you are. Late innings, you need a run. Late innings, you need to hold off a run. This is where you find out. This is where it gets entertaining.
Oh, I've been having fun all night as ball 2 is issued to the young man who is the only player in the ball game that is 2 for 2 on the night. Jackson Turner with a double and a single in his past 2 plate appearances.
It's definitely been a fun and close evening here at Lamar tonight. 2-0 to Jackson Turner. Lazier the set. Looks up and down. Here comes the pitch. Ball 3.
And you have to wonder how short is Lazier's leash with the score being what it is. If you put 2 men aboard back-to-back with a 3-0 count here in the 6th, is Coach Kino thinking about a sub?
Ball 4.
We're about to find out. 2 men aboard with nobody out.
Brian Goodman's talking to the Lamar bench. He looks like he's about to send somebody to the bullpen to go warm up. And the next batter for the Volunteers is going to be the third baseman, number 11, Chris Uribe.
So it's not a base hit for Jackson Turner, but he stays 2 for 2 and is 3 for 3 on his reaching safely appearances.
Looks like 18 will be warming up in the Lamar bullpen, along with about a quarter of the dugout. I just saw about 5 powder blue jerseys head over to the 6 powder blue jerseys head over to the bullpen.
Grafton Owings is number 18 for the Vikes. We'll see if he ends up being the substitute, or if we even get to that point.
Because here's what Lazier's going to have to start worrying about now. If Uribe gets on, that brings up the big bat of Isaiah Henderson. Rip, foul, back screen, foul ball, strike number 1.
Henderson will retrieve it, making his presence known somewhat.
Now, funny we're mentioning Henderson. Coach Baroni came up to us earlier, and he mentioned that it was dead silent on the bus on the way over here. I think Henderson might have had a little pregame talk with the boys in the locker room before getting on the bus. And, I think it's worked because they're in a business trip mentality right now.
I was about to say, it felt like a business trip when they walked past me earlier today. Strike is called. It's 0-2. A lot of times there's smiles, there's joking, there's music coming out of somebody's pocket with their phone playing. It was stone cold silent as they walked to that first base dugout.
Stone cold silent. Stone cold walk-up song for Isaiah Henderson. That's his first walk-up song. Each Bowie baseball player gets 2 walk-up songs and a pitching song, and Isaiah Henderson's is the theme for Stone Cold Steve Austin.
How about that?
Ball 1, high, outside to Uribe.
That'll bring the count to 1-2. Uribe 0 for 2 on the evening so far with a ground out and a strikeout.
18-1 warming up in the bullpen for the Lamar Vikings.
This one's going to get away from the catcher, and that deep backstop will move the runners on the passed ball.
Now the pressure's on the Vikings to try and shut this down, but there's no force at any base, and Henderson's on deck. Say 2-2.
Sometimes strategically you have to wonder, do you go with the intentional walk so you can get the force at every base?
Would you be intentionally walking Henderson or Uribe?
Uribe to load him up for Henderson. To catch 22.
Ooh,
this one's going to go to right field and foul. Not by much.
The entire Bowie side of the stands, myself included, were about to jump up had that ball stayed fair. And we got the Hendersons right next to us, and they're fixing to climb up the fence and everything.
It'll stay 2-2 to Uribe as Lazier looks for the pitch sign. Agrees on it. Sets and fires. Too low. Count runs full. Got to give him your best pitch here.
Full count to Uribe. Runners on second and third. Isaiah Henderson on deck for the Volunteers.
And nobody out.
No outs.
Payoff pitch. They're going to call the strike 3. Uribe caught looking on the outside corner as Lazier picks up strikeout number 5 of the evening. And that'll put 1 away with 2 on for Isaiah Henderson.
Intentional walk to Isaiah Henderson.
They will intentionally walk him. You don't want to put him in any kind of threat. Ortega walked his last time up, though, so if he can draw a walk here, that's the first run of the game. Coach Kino calling for defensive adjustments. You'd rather throw to Ortega than to Henderson in this situation. But will that come back to bite them?
Henderson's refusing a courtesy runner, so he's going to stay on at first base. Ortega's also one of those bats on the Volunteer lineup you have to pay attention to because he'll strike when you least expect it. He's got power, he's got a little bit of speed, but he can make contact. That's why he's in the 4-hole.
All you need is contact.
All you need is contact right here.
Strike 1 is called on the lower half of the zone. It's 0-1. Even a sacrifice allows the runner at third to tag up and come home.
We've got a contingency of Bowie fans right behind us. They're ready. They're waiting. They're ready. That's a
sharply hit, and they're going to say foul.
Foul ball.
Just barely to the left of third base.
You could feel the tension starting to rise and build up here at Lamar.
Everybody knows just how important this ball game is. They know what's at stake.
For the Bowie community, a long-suffering fan base, haven't seen the playoffs in 12 years. This is a huge night for the Bowie Vols.
0-2 now to Roman Ortega, going to have to defend the plate. 1 out, bases full of Vols. And that's ball 1.
You know, one thing I noticed whenever I first started, working for Bowie, the Volunteers and the Vikings have some of the longest names in the district.
Warriors, possibly.
Warriors, too. Other than that, it's the Texans, the Colts.
That's true.
Woo! Ball 2.
I thought that one was going to get called. It did not, and it is 2-2. A good eye there by Ortega.
Two to count. Bases loaded. Lazier sets. Here's the pitch. That
might be it.
That might be it.
That's enough.
That's skied to center field.
Archibald's got it. And oh my goodness, what is happening? What is happening? There's a lot of confusion on the baseline. There's a rundown happening, and it'll stay scoreless. Yadi, what just happened?
Boneheaded base running is what just happened. On a sac fly that deep, you need to tag up and you need to go.
I can't believe what I just saw. Alex Rojas did not tag up in time, and Bowie got caught in an unconventional rundown, and the bases loaded jam is averted as we stay scoreless, headed to the bottom of the 6th. We'll be back with more high school baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing, right after these messages.
Local Legends Figures immortalizes your athlete's achievements for a lifetime. Featuring 6-inch figures with poses in football, baseball, band, hockey, even lacrosse. Local Legends makes every effort to show their likeness down to every possible uniform detail. To order your custom figure, call 817-681-0393 or email orders@locallegendsfigures.com.
John Wade Roofing has been serving the Arlington area since 1982, but the Wade legacy runs much deeper in the city of Arlington. A pioneer family that has had roots going back decades, John Wade and Company saw relatives attend the Cooper Street Arlington High campus and has had members play in Colt athletics for decades, and they're looking forward to serving this community for decades to come. Find out more at johnwaderoofing.com. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how to score what just took place. It was a fly out to Archibald in center field. Archibald threw it back in, and I believe it was the catcher, Brock Jackson, who applied the tag up the third baseline because Alex Rojas did not tag up. Even if you don't have a whole lot of confidence in your running, you have to give it a shot and just see what happens.
Exactly, because the rest of the runners at first or second were already at second
They
and
were
third.
moving. Everybody tagged up and moved except for Rojas, and then he got caught in the third baseline. I don't know if he wasn't listening or if he wasn't paying attention or if he didn't step on third base at the proper time. I have no idea what just happened other than the fact that we are still scoreless as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning.
Henderson's first pitch to Davis is swung on and missed for strike one. What's funny is that it actually wasn't Jackson that tagged him. Burns came up from first base to protect an errant throw, and he's the one that fielded the ball and applied the tag to Rojas. As the second pitch from Henderson is another strike, swing and strike for Jackson Davis, and the count's now 0-2.
So it wasn't the catcher, it was first baseman.
Yep. And
this is a drop third strike.
Drop third strike. Ends up on the what looks like limestone on the interior of the fence here.
Technically counts as Henderson's 7th strikeout of the evening, but it does put a runner aboard as De Leon let one get by him.
Now this is where you get into really dangerous territory with the Volunteers, because in times past,
they've gotten into their own head sometimes.
Yeah, the snowball effect. That's actually what I was just about to mention. Foul ball, strike one. It goes into the stands, just past the stands behind the press box here at Lamar.
Ooh, thank goodness. I've got some bungee cords tying down the camera, but it's currently unmanned, running on battery power, so just hoping that it lasts and does not fall victim to a foul ball.
Or a battery drain.
So far, the battery has been holding up. From what I've been able to tell, we had my mom watching the camera when Arlington played here, and it did not take up the entire battery. It got down to about 40%, but it did not completely drain. So
we have time.
I'm running on faith that nothing's going to happen. But if it does, I have a contingency in place.
It's always good to have a contingency. We have a contingency of volunteer faithful who traveled up from 360 and 20 to watch this.
This one's in play. Shortstop, 6, 4, and they'll have to settle for the force. Fielder's choice as, who was that? Greco gets aboard?
Yep. Coach Johnson's now arguing that the runner at second base slid into Vega, the Utley slide rule. And, you know, I think Johnson may have a case because he slid really late.
And he's shaking his head in disagreement. Umpire provided some sort of explanation that Coach Johnson disagrees with. And Greco will reach on the fielder's choice, replacing Jackson Davis there at first. And there's one away for the catcher, Brock Jackson, who got a single to left field in his last plate appearance.
Anytime I see these powder blue jerseys with Vikings in that font, I'm thinking of old school Milwaukee Brewers jerseys.
I can see it. Runner goes. De Leon fires. One hop, and it's in time.
Another one bites the dust.
Henderson hit the deck to allow time for De Leon to throw a dart, and Greco is retired, and there's 2 away with the bases clear.
Count is 1-0 to the catcher for the Vikings, Jackson.
But now the only thing you have to worry about is the man at the plate as a slider catches the zone for strike one.
1-1 count to the catcher, Brock Jackson. And all of a sudden, the Volunteer stands have started to come to life a little bit here in the bottom of the 6th.
Ball 2 is issued a little bit too low As we've talked about all evening, it's a win and in situation for the Volunteers, and they are doing everything they can defensively in order to make that happen as Jackson takes a big swing and can't connect. It's strike 2.
2-2 count with 2 out. Nobody on the ball on base for the Lamar Vikings. Brock Jackson looking down 2-2. Henderson sets. Here's the pitch. Ball 3 in the dirt.
I like the approach, though, going a little bit low at times because he just offered it one that was too low, so you have that potential there. But this time, Jackson lays off of it. Henderson will step off the back of the plate to come set with a new pitch decision.
He's been placing his pitches very well tonight. Here's this wind.
This one's in the air, headed for shallow center. Coming up and making the grab is Jackson Turner for the F8. And again, players are left stranded as Lamar gets caught stealing, and the inning is over. We are through 6 complete innings of scoreless baseball here at Lamar. A win and in for Bowie continues right after this.
A-frames that bring their A game. The next time you need to get your brand out to the community, go with the printers who are in your community, Ika Signs. With everything from wall signs to banners, printed tees to hats, Ika can even do same-day rush orders on select products. Visit ikasigns.com/shop to see their full list. That's ikasigns.com/shop. Ika Signs, a partner of Zach Arnold Productions.
John Wade Roofing has been serving the Arlington area since 1982, but the Wade legacy runs much deeper in the city of Arlington. A pioneer family that has had roots going back decades, John Wade and Company saw relatives attend the Cooper Street Arlington High campus and has had members play in Colt athletics for decades. And they're looking forward to serving this community for decades to come. Find out more at johnwaderoofing.com. To the 7th inning we go. And I feel like maybe I'm just the jinx, Yadi, because it was scoreless headed into the 7th of the game between Arlington and Grand Prairie. And we're scoreless here. I have only seen 2 runs plated all week. And I've seen 13 innings of ball so far. That's not the norm.
It really isn't. But then again, as we've been saying all year, this is a wild district. This is a wide open district. Even as the district title race and the hunt for playoff spots comes to nearly a close with 3 games, including this one left after today, it'll be just 2. And, you know, if you want to put yourself in good playoff positioning, you need to win these next 3 games. Ferguson leads off in the top of the 7th for the Volunteers. Here we go.
Jason Wheeler on deck, Roberto De Leon in the hole, 5, 6, 7 in the Bowie lineup. Lazier back out for another inning of work. First pitch swing and foul back for strike 1. Lazier does have 5 strikeouts tonight and has not allowed a run yet. Doing his best to battle and keep Lamar in it. This one will be fouled up the third baseline. 0-2 now as Coach Crowdis recovers that one.
Crowdis always practicing on his fundamentals over on the third base side.
And the bare hand doesn't even need a glove.
No, he doesn't.
Lazier's 0-2 delivery. That one's in play. Over the head of the pitcher. Turns. Fires. In time. Ferguson retired on the 4-3 putout.
That's just been kind of, you know, the type of weeks Ferguson's been having. He's been hitting, but directly at the fielders. And that'll bring up the right fielder for the Volunteers, number 15, Jason Wheeler, up to the plate.
Wheeler is 1 for 2 on the evening. Grounded out to Davis at second base in his last at-bat, but also has a double down the left field line. First pitch too far inside for ball 1.
I don't know if you've noticed this, but Lazier's speed is starting to die down a little bit.
His velocity has decreased some. I did notice that.
The glove isn't as popping as much as it has been.
That's ball 2 as it's too low. He's trying to focus more on placement as we get into these later innings. He does have some activity in the bullpen up that third base line. Hoping that he doesn't need it. 2-0 here. And it's 3-0. Wheeler going to dare Lazier to throw him a strike here on this next pitch. And that's exactly what he does. Belt high for strike 1. It's 3 balls and a strike now. The 3-1. Swung on and swung through. Count runs full. Had the green light, couldn't connect.
Set the 3-2.
Payoff pitch on the way. Chipped into the glove for strike 3. 6th strikeout. After a 3-0 count, Lazier battles all the way back and sends Wheeler back to the dugout. That'll take us to Roberto De Leon. And this will be another mound visit. Third one that Lazier has experienced, and third time may be the charm.
That's Brian Goodman heading out to the mound. Paul Kino still over on the third base side, close to the Lamar dugout. I think they're still trying to debate on whether they want to do a pitching change and pull him, or if they just want to ride him out for the rest of the inning.
There's nobody aboard with 2 outs. He may try to advocate to go for this last bat, and that is exactly what's going to happen. But I feel pretty certain, Yadi, that this is one way or another likely going to be Lazier's last batter that he faces.
I believe so too, because I see Kino walking back out.
He may make a substitution after all.
Yeah, that's a pitching change, I think. Yeah, it's a pitching change. Sign of a change. Ika signs.
That is indeed what we've got. The signal from the coach is the sign of a pitching change. And the next time you need signs, banners, shirts, or other print materials, Ika Signs is the local printer to call. 817-617-2229 is the number, and tell them Zap sent you. We'll let you know who the new pitcher is right after this.
Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to hear Zach talk about things beyond the realm of sport, catch him with me, Ben Hart, on the Intergalactic Peace Coalition podcast. New episodes drop monthly featuring news, reviews, discussions, and tangents on all our favorite franchises, including Marvel, DC, Star Trek, Star Wars, Stranger Things, Harry Potter, Jurassic Park, Dune, Godzilla, Firefly, Pixar, Doctor Who, Indiana Jones, The Last of Us, James Bond, House of the Dragon, Ghostbusters. I think you get the picture. Find the Intergalactic Peace Coalition at ipcpodcast.podbean.com or download via your favorite podcast app.
This broadcast is the intellectual property of Zach Arnold Productions. Any use of their multimedia, including audio, video, images, and other content, may not be repurposed without prior express consent of Zach Arnold Productions. We thank you for your cooperation and for tuning in to tonight's broadcast. New pitcher on the mound after 6 2/3 innings with 6 strikeouts from Luke Lazier. The shortstop, Ben Shryock, will slide in from shortstop.
18 is at shortstop now for the Vikings.
A new player at shortstop, that's number 18, Grafton Owings. And De Leon digging into the batter's box to face Shryock.
There's like a nervous tension all of a sudden starting to build up here at Lamar. De Leon stepping into the plate. Shryock on the mound. Here's the set. Here comes the first pitch. Swing and a miss.
Pitch swinging.
Over.
First pitch swinging. Shryock has a little bit more pop in the glove than what we saw from Lazier as he quickly makes it 0-2 on the swing and a miss. Sets and fires. Too far outside. That's ball 1.
1-2 to De Leon. Shryock sets. Here comes the pitch. Ball 2.
Can't quite find it there either. If De Leon can find a way aboard, Andrew Vega's the next man up. The 2-2 with 2 outs. Count runs full. Good plate appearance here by Beto De Leon.
Greco was jumping up and down in right field. He was praying for that one to be a strike.
Shryock with a payoff pitch now on the way. Fouled back. We'll keep it what it is. 6 2/3 for Lazier. Shryock trying to finish the job he started. That's a big cut, headed for right field, and it is going to be hauled in by Greco. The F9 will end the Bowie half of the 7th. And we head to a potential walk-off situation unless Bowie can find a way to force extras. That would be the first extra inning ball game that we call if they can get these next 3 outs. Stick around for more high school baseball on Zap presented by John Wade Roofing right after this. We're not done yet.
Pools in Texas need servicing all year long. At Rami Pools, LLC, we provide quality pool services such as cleaning, maintenance, and repairs. So call 469-951-0107 for a free estimate and ask for Roberto. Rami Pools, LLC. We're going to make you fall in love with your pool again. Hablamos español.
If you're a small business owner looking for reliable insurance coverage or perhaps just navigating the complexities of Medicare, look no further. Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services is a family-owned, independent agency with over 50 years of experience, specializing in tailored insurance solutions for small businesses and their owners. Whether you need property, liability, commercial auto, or even life and health insurance, their agents can help you feel secure in selecting the insurance you need. Call April Chapman or Jason Ott today at 817-265-3346.
It's crunch time in Viking country as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Zach Arnold and Yadi Pagan calling a pitcher's duel instant classic here as we get ready for the Lamar half of the 7th. The Vikings have a couple of walk-off wins this season, and they're looking for another one here to force Bowie to be dependent on the outcome of the South Grand Prairie versus Haltom game. Bowie would like to try to force extra innings if they can, and more importantly, they'll need to do it with as few pitches as possible so that Isaiah Henderson can continue his dominant performance. He's got 7 strikeouts in 6 innings so far, and he is coming back out for the 7th here. This is number 6, the DH, Colton Quesada, leading things off. He's 0 for 2 on the evening. Both of them strikeouts. First pitch swinging. Headed for left field. Rojas giving chase. And he will make the grab for a hold your breath out number 1 of an F7.
Number 8, Colton McKay.
That'll take us to Colton McKay. 1 for 2 on the evening. 1 pitch, 1 out for Henderson.
It was just a long strike. First pitch swinging for McKay. Fouls it back to the backstop. Strike 1.
A long strike and a long out number 1. Colton McKay and Ransom Burns, the other 2 young men, guaranteed an at-bat. Fans, copy that link, hit that share button. We've got a good one as this one gets fouled off for strike 2. We're just a few pitches away from extra inning free baseball here on Thursday night as we anticipate Good Friday and Easter weekend. I'm actually flying out of town for Easter weekend to celebrate a belated birthday with my wife. Can't find the zone there. Tried to drop the off speed into the zone. Couldn't quite place it. That one he does place. Strike 3 is called. And McKay with the backwards K. Strikeout number 8 on the evening for Isaiah Henderson. And there's 2 away for the first baseman, Ransom Burns, 0 for 2 on the evening. A lot more offense across town as strike 1 is swung on and missed here. 8-0 in favor of Arlington against the Grand Prairie Gophers. Lofted high in the air. Josue Martinez calling for it. And we are headed for extra baseball at Viking Field. We're through 7 complete, and we have to play a little bit more. Fans, extra innings are presented by Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services. If life is throwing you a few extra hassles you weren't prepared for, Chapman Cornelius can help you find the right coverage you need. Be sure to ask for April Chapman or Jason Ott when you call 817-265-3346 and tell them Zap sent you. The 8th inning when we come back with high school baseball on Zap.
If you're like me and need printed materials to get your brand out there to the community, then you need Eka Signs. Conveniently located in central Arlington, Eka features a wide selection of shirts, hats, banners, yard signs, acrylics, magnets for your car, magnets for your fridge, tumblers, A-frames, and more. Call Eka at 817-617-2229 for more information and tell them Zap sent you.
Zach Arnold Productions is proud to service the greater Arlington and DFW area. With experience in broadcasting, podcasting, web series, public address, marketing, and public relations, Zap can help you tackle any modern communications task. Whether you need an announcer for your sporting event or just need help proofing a press release, be sure to call 817-319-2402 to see how you can find energetic media solutions for your task with Zach Arnold Productions. First time in any of our Zap broadcasts this season that we've had to go to extra innings. No better situation than a win and in as Shryock delivers a swinging strike to start the top of the 8th. Andrew Vega leading things off. Alex Rojas right behind him. Swing and a miss on the off speed for strike 2.
That was a little bit of a fishing forget-me swing. And now it's quickly 0-2 to Vega. Shryock just seems to be dominating Vega right now. He has to clutch up.
He's just alternating his pitches well.
Yeah. Placement, alternation, speed, it's working out for Shryock right now. Here comes the set, here comes the pitch. Ball 1.
He'll lay off of that one.
I think Vega's starting to calm himself down now a little bit. After quickly falling back to 0-2, he's now at 1-2, working the count back up.
Let's see if he can keep working it.
And
no, he cannot. Swinging strikeout, Shryock gets his first K, and Vega is retired. Jot Holly tuning in from Florida, getting ready to go on a weekend cruise. Shout out to Jot, been covering Bowie and Arlington all season, getting some well-deserved time away with the family. That'll be me tomorrow. He's going to Florida, going on a coastal cruise out east. Ball 1, slider too low. I am going out to the West Coast to go whale watching with my wife.
And I'm just selling cars here in
You're
Arlington.
just selling cars at Clay Cooley Auto Group. Shameless plug. Ball 2.
Maybe it forebodes something for upcoming seasons. Who knows?
It could. It very well could. Coach Joseph Sam tuning in the Bowie chat. Shout out, Coach. Thanks for tuning in as this one's lofted into shallow left field. The new shortstop loses it on the E6. And that's why you just keep running. Owings, the new shortstop, commits the first fielding mistake of the game, and Rojas is aboard on the E6. Jackson Turner has a double and a single and a walk. He has reached in all 3 plate appearances. That is who you want at the plate right now, as Burns covers the first base bag. Off speed, too low, dug out by Brock Jackson for ball 1.
Turner is one of the front runners for the All-District Center Fielder Award. I mean, there's just defensively and in hitting alone. That's the guy you want up there at the plate right now. Shryock checks first. He sets.
He's taken a long time out of the stretch there. And the fastball is inside for ball number 2.
Ball 2, 2-0 to Jackson Turner, the Volunteers leadoff man. Outside of Henderson, I think the Volunteers look up to Turner just about as much as Henderson.
You got to have those emotional leaders, as the 2-0 is outside for ball number 3. And is Shryock losing his cool now that the defense isn't backing him up the way he thought it would? It's a 3-0 count to Turner with Chris Uribe on deck.
And Henderson in the hole.
1 out. The 3-0 pitch on the way. Right down the pipe, as it should be. 3-1 the count now to Jackson Turner. Got a big, big double to left field to start this ball game. If he could manifest one of those again. The 3-1. High, that's ball 4. He has reached base in all 4 plate appearances. Back-to-back walks, also has a double and a single. And we're coming up on Chris Uribe. He is 0 for 3 on the evening, but one swing of the bat could redeem all of his previous plate appearances. Two on, 1 out, extra inning baseball. Shryock trying to escape a jam here. First pitch to Uribe. Low and inside for ball 1.
Shryock.
You cannot intentionally walk Henderson if Uribe finds a way aboard.
Shryock is losing control of his pitches very fast here. This is escalating at an unprecedented pace for the Vikings. Here's the set. Here's a wind. Here comes the pitch.
In play. That's a base hit. That might do it.
There's an error in left field.
It's gone. One run is home. Here comes the second run.
Turner scores. RBI double. Chris Uribe. Chris Uribe with a clutch RBI double. And the Volunteers lead 2-0 in the top of the 8th inning.
That one went all the way to the wall as it went over the leaping shortstop Owings. Archibald couldn't catch up to it. Uribe is in at second base for Isaiah Henderson, and it's 2-0 Volunteers.
The Bowie dugout is now loud and live here along the first base line. Here's the set from Shryock. Here's the pitch. Ball 1. Didn't even make it to home plate. Dropped about 2 feet in front. And Brock Jackson's kind of grimacing now.
That one he had to keep in front of him, and it caromed off of maybe a part of him that does not have protective padding.
Oh, it got him in the Jackson.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
That's never something that you want to have happen.
Nope.
We will step aside while the training staff tends to him. Bowie ahead 2-0 in extra frames. High school baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing. PDA Advocacy Group supports CCMR, college, career, military readiness, a set of educational standards designed to help students be better prepared for post-high school life. If college-bound, take entrance tests, dual credit courses, earn a 2-year degree prior to graduation. If you're going to a career, take classes that will result in industry certification, mechanic, computers, welding, etc. The options are vast. Military? Enlist in the armed forces as a career. CCMR, driving towards success in life. Taqueria Taco Express is your one-stop shop for all things authentic Mexican in Arlington and Grand Prairie. And this fall, you'll now have 4 stops to choose from. Visit the new location off 20 and Little Road or any of their 3 original locations and try their $10 Taco Tuesday. It includes 5 tacos and an agua fresca. They also feature new birria items plus tortas, gorditas, and more. Find out just how much more by visiting taqueriatacoexpress.com. Brock Jackson able to return behind home plate under his own power. It's a 1-0 count at the plate to Isaiah Henderson with Chris Uribe on second base after clearing the bases on that big hit to left. And he will chase Uribe back.
Henderson could add a couple of insurance runs to his name. Oh, and by the way, that was our first taco tally.
Oh my gosh, we got too excited about that, and it's been 7+ innings. We'll get to it in just a second. Another check down over to first, and he is safe. Thank you for the reminder, Yadi. Fans, all first runs and second runs, I suppose, of the game are presented by our friends at Taqueria Taco Express all of this season. Visit any of their 5 locations on Taco Tuesday for their $10 meal special. I have to change the script. My wording originally said 4 locations. I got to fix that.
And congratulations to Mike and Omar on their 5th store in Waxahachie.
Check swing, and they're going to call the strike anyway. It's 1-2 to Henderson.
We got the Henderson clan quite literally surrounding us from behind and from Zach's side here at Lamar. So 1-2 count to Henderson. Uribe on second. Shryock sets. Here's the wind. Here's the pitch. It's a high drive to deep center field. Way back there. Oh, he misses it. He does not catch it. Uribe scores. Isaiah Henderson with an RBI double. 3-0 Volunteers in the top of the 8th inning.
A diving attempt by Logan Archibald to no avail. And another run comes across as Henderson does his job. Helps his own cause. And makes it a 3-0 ball game here in the 8th.
Courtesy running for Henderson at second base is number 10, Jaden Kitchens. Ortega at the plate for the Volunteers. And, you know, now it's a question of whether the Vikings can get out of the inning because all these runs have been scored with
just
1 out.
With just this 1 out.
And you got Ferguson in the hole. You got Ortega on deck. I mean, you got Ortega at the plate. And Ferguson in the hole. My bad.
Chopper headed to short. The only play is to first. And it is in time. 6-3 putout of Roman Ortega for out number 2.
That'll bring up Brody Ferguson, number 19, the 5th hitter in the Volunteer lineup. He is playing first base tonight. He's just not had good luck as of late, as everything he has hit has been directly to a defensive fielder.
He has made contact. It's just been contact to the defense. Henderson still stands. Correction, Kitchens. Henderson with the base hit. Kitchens running for him. Shryock. First pitch too low for ball 1.
You've got to be very careful as Jaden Kitchens is a very, very, very fast individual. So if Ferguson manages to get a hit, that's probably the 4th run.
Ball 2 too low. All of this sparked by Rojas getting aboard on an E6.
That was redemption for him right there on the base running blunder from 2 innings ago.
Shryock with the 2-0 delivery. That's
a
ripped
base
to
hit
left.
down the right line.
Here we go. Kitchens rounding third. Ferguson checking in at second. Bowie 4, Lamar nothing in extra innings. Yadi, where are Lamar's wheels? Because they have fallen off here in the 8th inning.
I think that burnt rubber smell we smelled right before the run started scoring. I think they're right over on the bridge on Davis Drive. I think that's where the wheels went. Speaking of wheels, Wheeler's on up at the bat.
And he's got a double to his credit so far as he looks at a ball here. The Bowie faithful can sense it.
12 years of pain, 12 years of being so close and missing out on it. Man, it's almost here, and I'm feeling it a little bit too.
Strike one is called on the inside corner to Wheeler.
Wheeler, the 6th man up in the Volunteers lineup. He's traditionally been there for a good majority of the season.
This one's in play, headed for second base. Tough play for Davis. The dive is not in time, but it does not matter. Wheeler will end the inning, but an E6 hit by Alex Rojas. He'll come around to score. A double by Chris Uribe, a double by Isaiah Henderson, a double by Brody Ferguson, and Bowie is 3 outs away from the playoffs. Stick around. The bottom of the 8th coming up on Zap right after this. John Wade Roofing is celebrating 40 years serving the Arlington area. John Sr. played for Colt football and was the team MVP in '76. He went on to play for TCU, earning all conference honors. The family has a Colt legacy that spans generations and wants to help your family's roofing needs, plus gutters, painting, solar, and more. For more information, go to johnwaderoofing.com.
Hey Arlington residents, if you're like me and tired of rising insurance rates, then it's time to make the switch to Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services. Since 1984, they've been your trusted local insurance experts, offering competitive quotes for all your needs. Auto, homeowners, umbrella, renters, boats, and even classic cars. Why settle for less when you can get the best? Compare coverages today and see how much you can save by visiting chapman-cornelius.com. Chapman Cornelius, your local insurance partner since 1984.
To the bottom of the 8th inning we go. It took extras, but Bowie finally got a hold of Shryock, got to know his pitches, and turned on them, turning them into 4 runs, an advantage that they want to cling to for the next 3 outs here against the Vikings. A win and in as Connor Buechele digs in to the batter's box and looks at strike one. Isaiah Henderson coming back out, trying to finish what he started here in the 8th inning. Swing and a miss for strike number 2. And the call, strike 3 on the corner, is out number 1 for Buechele. 9 Ks for Henderson.
Stepping up to the plate for the Vikings, Logan Archibald.
That'll take us to Logan Archibald. 1 away here. And that one will get fouled out of play for a strike. In play, Chopper. Martinez with the backhand, but it pops out of his glove. And Logan Archibald is aboard. We'll give him an infield single on that. That was a tough play.
team, Grafton Owings.
So now Grafton Owings batting in the spot of the former pitcher Luke Lazier. And he'll take a look at ball one here. Swing and a miss for strike one. One ball, one strike, one out. And that is ball two. Called ball just a bit outside. Thought he was going to ring him up on that one, did not. And that is ball four. Bowie does have a bit of a cushion to work with, but they do need these last two outs. To the top of the order now with Jackson Davis. Reached on a drop third strike his last appearance. And he's got ball one here. And now a strike gets called. Henderson finds the zone of the umpire. This one's lofted in the air. Center field. Turner makes the grab for out number two. And now Lamar down to their final out. One out away from history as Jacob Greco swings and misses at the first pitch he sees. A fastball that's blown right by him. Chopper foul, that's strike two, and the Vikings are down to their final strike of the ball game. Henderson ahead in the count, 0-2 on Greco. The Bowie faithful, fully aware of what's happening, and he will live to fight another pitch. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs as that foul ball is retrieved. Umpire signals for play. 2 men aboard in the bottom of the 8th. Henderson trying to eliminate them. This one's up in the air. Headed for foul territory and will go out of play. Chris Uribe tried to take a look at it. Could not get a hold of it. And will come set again for another 0-2. Greco looks at the signal from Coach Kino up the baseline. Play is signaled by the umpire. Henderson's 0-2 is away for ball one. Just a bit outside. One ball, 2 strikes now. And it's 2-2. They're going to go over to first base, and now the runner's going to go to third as it gets away. That will technically be Bowie's first error committed here in the 8th inning, as Ferguson let it get away after De Leon sent it down to him. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 men aboard. Henderson fires. Swing! Miss! Ball game! Playoffs for the Volunteers! Victory and vindication! With vigilance, virtuosity, veracity, the Volunteers are vivified as after a decade-long absence, Bowie is headed to the playoffs. A huge 8th inning by the Bowie offense as they finally come alive after getting past Luke Lazier. They plate 4 in extra innings to come out on top. And after a 12-year absence, the Volunteers are postseason bound. Not only that, this victory tonight makes win number 19 on the year for Bowie, which is a school record. Their 19th win of the season, the most important one in the last decade plus. Volunteers 4, Vikings nothing. As we take it into the postgame show presented by our friends at John Wade Roofing. Some fun facts about John Wade. He was a football player for Arlington High School and was their team MVP in '76. He went on to play for TCU and UTA football, earning all conference and conference champion honors. After a stint with the Houston Oilers, he started roofing in 1982 and never looked back. His legacy on the gridiron is now matched by the legacy his company has built for over 40 years. The next time you have roofing needs, gutters, painting, solar, soffit repair, or more, call the family that does more at 817-265-5520. Zach Arnold bringing you the postgame show as Bowie out on the field celebrating their postseason appearance. Yadi Pagan taking photos and celebrating as I close this ball game out. We do have a bit of a cleanup procedure that we will have to do here, so we will keep this short and sweet. It's a 4-0 victory for the Volunteers. It's their 19th win, which is a program single-season record, and it's their first by-district appearance since 2013. In just his second year as the head coach of the Volunteers, 4th year overall, Alex Johnson has taken the Volunteers somewhere that they have not been in an entire graduating class, and then some. Led by a lot of timely hitting, the likes of a double by Chris Uribe, a double by Isaiah Henderson, and a double by Brody Ferguson. The Volunteers plate 4 in extra innings, and it's another complete game shutout as Henderson gets 10 Ks in the shutout win. And now it does not matter exactly what happens over the course of next week's series against South Grand Prairie. The Volunteers are headed to the postseason. Of course, you want to win those games, as Yadi Pagan puts the headset back on briefly and turns his mic back up. Yadi, we want to see this team continue to do well, but one of the most major hurdles in the last 10 years has finally been eclipsed here at Viking Field tonight.
I'm at a loss for words. I'm speechless. I mean, there's a lot of emotion out there on the field right now. There's players on this team whose brothers have gotten close to being able to make a playoff appearance, but you know they fell short by an inning or by a game or two. There's no crying in baseball, but today there was a little bit of crying in the dugout. It's been a good day for Bowie.
A little bit of happy tears as the Volunteers get to the postseason for the first time since 2013. I'm off to celebrate. Hopefully you are as well, fans. Thanks so much for tuning in to tonight's broadcast, for supporting local business and local broadcasters by doing so. You have witnessed history here tonight, Bowie faithful, and Zap was here to bring it to you. We appreciate all the support and look forward to covering the Volunteers for however long their postseason run may be. But we need to clean up and get out of here so we don't overstay our welcome. Final score again, Bowie 4, Lamar nothing. The 19-win postseason-bound Volunteers get to sleep happy this Easter weekend. We hope you all have a great night and a great Easter weekend. We'll see you on Tuesday for the South Grand Prairie Series. But until then, we hope you all have a great night. I know I will.